You ever have one of those days where, like, everything just kind of, the dominoes always fall in a way that is not good for you? Well, this was one of my dominoes yesterday. And so I had to deal with that. I thought this board was safe. This piece of wood? It wasn't. It was not. And so anyway, yep, I fell right through my fucking ceiling. Obviously, I was able to catch myself and... You know, I'm fine, right? I mean, aside from, like, you know, 4 or 5 other cuts all over me. Other than that, I'm fine. But yeah, no, nothing broken. It's only a flesh wound. It's totally fine. I'll heal in a few days and that'll be it. And so I'm not worried about it. Why was I in my attic? So I woke up and I smelled a dead animal. Now, I can smell like 3 things in my life. I can smell dead rats. I can smell blood. Yes, I can smell blood. I can tell when there's blood. And I can smell the difference between a Dr. Pepper and a Coca-Cola. And I can even smell the difference between a a Coca-Cola and a Pepsi. That's true. That's actually a very good point. Yes, exactly. And that's it. I woke up and I was like, oh my god, there's a dead animal in the house. Again, fuck. Why is this happening again? So I go into my attic and I can kind of smell it more. I have such a really bad sense of smell in general, though, that it's very hard for me to track any scent and find it. And so anyway, I was in my attic trying to find this dead animal. I never found it. And that's why, and I think the reason why is that, like, this morning I woke up, it wasn't as bad. I think what happened is that it was actually a raccoon that died underneath my deck in my backyard. Because I walked out into the backyard and, like, I could very, very strongly smell it. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And so, yeah, that's basically what happened, right? Is that, like, yeah, it was a dead fucking raccoon in my backyard. I mean, it could have been a cat or a fox, but, like, I think it was a raccoon. Because that's usually what there is around here, right? And so you aren't supposed to walk between the beams when you're in the attic. Do you see this right here? This is like, you know, like in Dark Souls where they have, like, the piece of ground where there's, like, cracks through it? Yeah, and so that's what I think happened. So the funny thing is that I did all this for nothing. That's what's really funny about it, is that all of this drama, all of this bullshit, I think was all for nothing. And I'm pretty sure that the actual dead animal isn't even in the house. So, but to be fair though, so I walk out into my fucking garage and there's literally a rat sitting there. Like, back in the day, they would at least have, like, the fucking dignity to run away. But he's lived there so long, he didn't even give a fuck about me. He's like, hey. Anyway, so yeah, where the fuck is this food? And, like, he didn't even think about it. He didn't even give a fuck, right? Yeah, he owned the place. And so we got to, and so basically this is what happened, right? So I fall through the ceiling. I catch myself. As I said, you know, by the way, also, one of the reasons why I was stepping and walking in a weird way, really fun fact, I moved my foot in a way that morning where I tore my entire toenail off one of my toes. The entire fucking thing. And I had to get a piece of a bandage to, like, press everything down to stop all the bleeding. So I was walking in a weird way anyway because of that happening. Ouch, it doesn't matter. It's fine. Who cares? And so anyway, listen, I have scars. I used to tear the skin off my back just because I like the way it feels. Like, I have scars all over my back from it. If you ever see me outside, if I'm ever not wearing a shirt, you can see it. And yes, and I've scratched my arm, I've stabbed a fork in my arm. This is nothing, okay? It's not a big deal. I've broken my own teeth out. It's not a big deal. Now, I'm not an enjoyer of, like, any of this kind of stuff anymore, but, you know, when I was younger, it was a little bit different. And so anyway, that's what happened. And when it rains, it pours. Yes, when it rains, it pours. And so I wake up, I couldn't sleep. I slept for, like, maybe 3 hours. I wake up, I immediately tear my fucking toenail off. There's blood everywhere, and I actually had to put a bandage on for this one because of how bad it was. And so then I wake up and I go to the store. I'm about ready to go stream. And I get into my room like, this smells like fucking dead rats. God damn it. And so I go into my attic. I fall through the fucking ceiling in my attic. And then I'm sitting there, like, this is me. I'm right here, and I'm like, son of a fucking bitch. So I get up. Immediately after this happens, I do the smartest thing possible. I literally just get up and step over the hole, and I keep doing it, right? I'm still looking. I don't even give a fuck about falling through. I'm like, okay, I'm like doing this. I'm like, okay, I can move my legs, move my arms. All right, well, nothing's broken. I'm fine. And so let's just keep going. And anyway, I still couldn't fucking find the thing, right? That was it. Is the TV still there? Yeah, this is my ex-girlfriend's TV. She left when she moved out. You know how it is. And should have recorded this? If I could have, I would have, okay, guys? I understand that it was really funny. And I've fallen down my stairs probably 30 times. There was one time I fell down my stairs and I was holding on like my space heater and my drink, and obviously like I threw them both up in the air, and I was just sitting there laughing after I was falling at the bottom of the stairs. I was just laughing. I was like, man, this should have been so funny if somebody could have watched it. But I've never broken a bone. I've never even come close. I've never fractured anything ever. I've like ran into things. I've slammed my hand against things. I've had my foot run over by a car. You know, I'm basically going to be fine, right? I mean, unless something crazy happens. So I'm not really that worried about it. But knock on wood. Hey, yeah, knock on wood. Well, actually, a really funny thing about that. How about knock on drywall? And so yeah. And do you see political streamers looking at your tweet saying, look at the alt-right house condition? Yes, I understand this. There's a lot of left-wing streamers that, you know, whenever they see a person living in a middle-class home trying to solve their own problems in their house, this is something that naturally all of the left-wing streamers want to look down on and demonize and make fun of, because they could just never understand such a thing, right? They could never understand, well, you know, if you have a problem, you just go and immediately fix it and do it yourself. So it makes sense. It makes sense that they would call me out for this and be happy about it. You know, they always say that people hate what they don't understand. And anyway, and I fixed many things like this myself before. And by the way, I already fixed this. And so yesterday, after all this was happening, I'll go ahead and show you right here. My dad always taught me whenever I was a kid, he said that every time that something bad happens to you, turn the situation in a way to make it even better than before it happened. And so I try to use that as much as I can. And so yesterday, I used my vacuum cleaner. I vacuumed up the entire floor. Everything's totally fine. To be fair, I didn't vacuum this. I just fucking shook it out outside. That's why it's kind of dirty. And I did everything. It's already done. Like, it's already done. And this is after, by the way, I had to, and then I had to go to Verizon to help my dad get a new phone, right? And so I'm getting my dad a new phone at the same time. And then also, like, I'm like, okay, well, you want to try an iPad, right? Because I was going to buy him an iPad. And so then I do this, and I actually took a bath yesterday, too, because I was like, well, I was picking my nose. I'm just gonna be honest, right? I was picking my nose, and all the boogers were black. And I was like, I think we need to get some professionals in here. This doesn't seem very good. And so I am going to hire some professionals and actually get the house cleaned up. My goal originally, whenever I cleaned my house, this was kind of a while ago, and blood? No, I can tell the difference between blood and dirt. Trust me, it's not blood. And anyway, so that's what's going to happen. I've already begun the process. I have somebody that's working on it for me, like making it happen. It is literally happening as we speak, right? And so that's pretty much it. I'm too underleveled for this dungeon, man. I am, and I thought to myself, how insanely, like, because I can say, oh, I have super fast reflexes, and I was able to stop myself or whatever. Yeah, maybe that's true. But I also really got lucky. I got insanely fucking lucky. I could have hurt myself. I could have broken a bone. I could have died. I'm not doing that again. Like, I'm willing to take risks, right? I'm willing to take risks, but this is a bit much, right? Were you alone? Yeah, of course. So glad you're okay. No big balls. Well, hey, I'm the kind of guy. Okay, listen. Like, I used to always do things that you shouldn't do with my friends whenever we grew up. And one time we almost got in trouble with the individuals that get you in trouble, and you get in trouble a lot, right? We almost got caught. And I told myself, and I was like, I was like, okay, guys, that was it. That was the last time I'm ever going to do this again. And so they're like, oh, yeah, right. And like, I actually quit entirely. I quit. They didn't. One of them went to prison. And I never went to jail. I never got arrested. I never even got pulled over. I never got in trouble at all. So I know when to hold them. I know when to fold them. And bro, I fucking folded yesterday. I'm going to be honest. I folded. And so I figure, you know what? That's okay. And I'm going to go and get, like, basically, there's like maybe 5 or 10 different things that are wrong with my house in like a big way. And somebody was talking about like asbestos and everything. I've got to text my friend, because like his grandma lives up the street and like, you know, we grew up together. I've got to ask him, like, do you know, did your grandma ever get the ceiling checked for asbestos? Because like our houses were built at the same time. Yeah, I've got to hit up Zach McElreevy. When was your house built? I think 1975, somewhere around there, 1980. So yeah, we're gonna have it checked for asbestos. Yep, we're gonna have it checked. And so did that happen today? It's not gonna happen today. It'll take a little bit of time, but I've already got everything patched up and everything, and we're okay. I think I have a little bit of a cough from it. Not really. Because, like, I've been trying to, anytime I've coughed anything up, I look to see if there's any debris in it or anything. But, no, not really. I looked it up also, by the way, and this is what they said about asbestos, is that it's not, well, number one, they said asbestos is not good for you. Do not put it on pizza. Don't use it as a mixer for alcohol, and also do not inject it either. Yeah, they said this is not good for you at all. And so anyway, you know, but they said that if you have brief exposure to it whenever you're doing home renovations, that it's almost completely non-problematic, right? And that's what they said. The issue really is that when you're in it and you're dealing with it for like a long period of time, right? Because like basically they were explaining that my uncle died of asbestos. Yes, exactly, right? Why not? Well, wrong. Yeah, it's long-term exposure. And it's like, so you live in a house with asbestos, and basically what asbestos is that it's like a, it's like some sort of thing. And if you have, what do you call it? If you have too much of it in a certain area, or sorry, if it gets disturbed, it can be damaging, right? And so that's just a thing. Yeah, it's a fiber, I guess, right? And so basically, for me, you know, I've never had any of that happen. And also, like, by the way, I've lived in this house for 30 years already. So, like, I mean, you know, if I'm already cooked, right? Like, I mean, if this was asbestos and I was getting asbestos poisoning, I was already fucked, right? It fucks up your lungs. Yeah, exactly. And so that's really what it is. It's flame retardant. Yes, exactly. And so, yeah, I've already been in the house forever, so I'm already fucked if it is and it was exposed. But basically, if you don't, like, fuck with it, nothing bad will really happen. But the problem is that when you do fuck with it, that's whenever it is a problem. Basically, what we're going to do is we are going to have the ceiling checked for asbestos. And I want to make sure it doesn't happen. And yeah, that's what it was. Now, there were a lot of people that were asking me, like, basically, like, why do you live like this, etc. This is a house, like, this is my home. I grew up here. I lived here my whole life. And, like, this is... You know, I don't want to get rid of the house. Like, I could very easily go buy a mansion and go live somewhere else. But this is my home, and I love living here, and it makes me happy. The only reason why I would ever move away is if I was going to move in with, like, a girl and, like, maybe start, like, a family or something. Then I would move away just so I'd have more space and, like, you know, I wouldn't want my kids to grow up in the same house that I did, right? I think that would be selfish. But, like, otherwise, you know, like, I have no real reason to move away or do anything like that. And so, anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. And so, like, basically, my mom was, like, really into, like, I wouldn't really say she was a hoarder, but she was just really extremely messy, and she would just never allow me to throw anything away or get rid of anything. And so, like, but my house, like, this, it might sound, like, weird for me to say this, but, like, I actually like it when I have nothing in my house, basically, or in my immediate area. Like, I like having nothing around because every single thing is like a problem to me, right? But what's happened is that, you know, like all of these things, like my mom has just had so many things and so much stuff that it was hard to get rid of all of it. And any efforts that I would take or try to push towards like getting it clean or improving things at all, like for a long time, I was afraid to do it because of COVID at the time, because she refused to get the vaccine. So I couldn't have anybody come into the house and do anything because, like, well, I mean, they can't, like I'd be putting her at risk. And then before that, we didn't have the money for it. And so there was never really an opportunity that I really had to be able to do this, because like I told her, I was like, you know, I'll do anything you want, right? You want me to do like a fucking, like a walk-in bathtub, like I'll do anything. But she just didn't really want to deal with it. And she also never wanted people to come in the house. It was a pretty big issue, right? And like, it's hard to know like what the right decision is or what not to do or whatever. But yeah, it sucks, right? It does. It sucks. But that's pretty much the reason why it was like that or whatever. I don't think you're a hoarder. You're just lazy. Yeah, definitely. You're here for your change because you went bald early. Now you're trying to hold on to everything. You're scared to lose stuff. Yeah, bro. Like, don't cut your hair. It'll never come back. No, I mean, obviously, like, I don't really like change. I like things the way they are, for sure. But at the same time, I think that there's a point where it's unreasonable. And I think that we've gotten to that point pretty easily. And so I'm hoping that after, you know, all this is over, I'll be able to get things cleaned up and fixed it, right? But yeah, that's pretty much what happened, and that's why I wasn't on yesterday. Man, what a fucking day. What a fucking day. So you fell? Does your butt hurt? Nope. Totally fine. I caught myself before I hit the ground, and so it was okay.